to start the session, let's discuss about how to initialize weights. Okay, weight initialize. Okay, so weight initialization. So in the sense, let's say you have a large network, right? So or a small network, doesn't matter. So it means, so this is your input layer. Let's say these are your hidden layers. It can be many, right? Like it need not be single. Uh, so let's say I am having like this. Okay, so this is your input and this is your output layer. Okay, so there are few layers in between. So initially, in case if you are making your own network, what you do is we randomly initialize the weights, right? So we know that like we should not do a zero initialization, because if you go for a zero initialization, your gradient while calculating the gradients, your the gradient descent value will be zero, because we have seen discussed about that in one session before. So in that, we know that like we should not do zero initialization, or else like your weights won't get updated each iteration. Okay, so we should go for random initialization. Even in random initialization, there are few techniques which are found better than other. So we'll discuss all the techniques which were there. So and we can decide like what we should do. Okay, so one is a random initialization is a Gaussian. Okay, Gaussian random initialization. So which means your weights in each layer should follow a Gaussian. Okay, it means let's say you have 10 weights, like 10 weights. Okay, so those 10 weights, it should follow a Gaussian. Like we'll anyway mention zero and like how much deviation we should be mentioning both, how what is the mean and what is the standard deviation. If you mention these both, so it will generate values within this Gaussian curve. Some we need 10 values, right? It will sample 10 values out of the Gaussian curve and it will give us. Okay, so this is how like a Gaussian random distribution works. Usually what we do is random initialization mostly will we follow Gaussian. Okay, so this is one way to do it. So usually what we do is, when do we use it is for initializing convolutional layers and also fully connected layers. So we use this like for this, like for default values, usually people what they use is like they go for mean is 0 and standard deviation is 0.1 or like 0.001. So one of these two, like usually this is what like people use. Okay, so if you want to use like different value, that is also fine. It doesn't have any problem, but this is what usually people do. Okay, so and second one is, instead of Gaussian, you can also go for uniform distribution. Uniform distribution, random initialization. Okay, so if you take this, then what you do is again you give like what is a mean and like standard deviation. It will be similar, but it will be a uniform distribution, right? So like taking this, like what will happen is this has some issue. This has some problem. What that is actually while you are going more deeper networks, then actually they have observed, like actually they have researchers has experimented with all different kinds of initialization and found that by using instead of a Gaussian, if you use a uniform distribution, there will be a problem of diminishing or exploding your activations when your network is deep. Okay, so it means for a very deeper network, what you are finding is like what you will find is like in case if you use a normal distribution random activation, so there will be a weight like diminishing of your weights, or like maybe exploding suddenly, it will go very high while doing gradients, right? So this is what is been observed. So like we try to avoid this uniform distribution. Okay, so okay, so as of now this is one approach like we had like is better. Okay, so let me, this we don't use. So there is like a few other things like orthogonal random distributions. I did not use it anytime. So usually I use Gaussian, and there is like some other techniques which I'll tell you like later. So and which we can use. So what they did is they initially did a random weights, and then what they have done is like actually they like actually is like they did SVD on top of it, and what they have done is using SVD, they SVD is like vector decomposition, right? Singular vector decomposition, where it will convert your weight matrix into three matrix, right? So you we transpose something like that. So and then they have taken this U for initialization. So initially just random, maybe Gaussian random, and then they did SVD on top of it, and then finally they take this U. Okay, so this is one method, but even I don't know like why. What is the significance of doing this way? Like maybe one thing is like there won't be the rank will be like good. Like actually you'll get like more independent values or something like that. I'm not sure about okay, you will get like more orthogonal, all orthogonal vectors, like each of this one. So maybe that may help in getting a better weights. Okay, so I'm not sure. I've just that orthogonality you'll be getting from you. Like it means like your vector which fit you have, right? So this vector, this vector, this vector. So all these will be orthogonal to each other. So maybe that will help much better in training, I guess. But I never used it. Okay. So there is one more unsupervised pre-training. So what this does is like actually this technique like for initialization will actually avoids like gradient like diminishing problem what we have discussed earlier, right? So with uniform distribution, but it will actually avoid that. Okay, so but what we actually do, okay, so like actually where it has been used is like in a deep belief network, there is like some concept called like deep belief network, or maybe in autoencoders also people use this method for initialization. Okay, but mostly this won't be used because like again you for unsupervised again for you need like few more hyperparameters, right? So usually people don't prefer this, like, but it is applicable for these kind of network, but people usually don't prefer because we are adding additional parameters. Additional hyperparameters, right? So people usually don't use this. So apart from this, there is something like Xavier. So this is what many people will. It is recommended to use this actually. So I also use this. Like after some time, like actually I started using this when I came to know about Xavier. So this is what you also use it. Okay, I would recommend to use Xavier in case if you are trying a new network. Okay, so what it does is it is also a random initialization, but the variance of your network, like here we have to give the standard deviation, right? Previously we gave just default like 0.1 or 0.001, but instead of that it is like random initialization with mu, and mu actually mean anyway will take it within zero with mu equal to 0 comma sigma, instead of being 0 it will take it from this value. So variance of W would be 2 by number of fan in plus fan out. So I'll tell you what are these fan in, fan out. Okay, so this is a formula which will be used, which actually means like number of layers, nothing different, like fanning number of input layers and number of output layers. Depending on that, like it will take a consideration. So you have a variance, then standard deviation would be root of your variance, right? So with that value, taking a root over here, so you'll be getting say standard deviation. With for that standard deviation, you'll be using it for random initialization. This is like most preferred network actually. So what they do is actually they made a slight improvement to this, like and made it like, okay, let me talk about that. So it actually assumes like this is input layers, input neurons, this is output neurons, right? So number of input neurons and number of output neurons, and this is what like people use and found to be having much accurate values. Okay, it will converge better. Okay, so it fastly, because like if you let's say what you try to do is like this is loss curve, right? So if you initialize somewhere, so from there it will start to come to optimal. That is what like we need to get, right? So that is called gradient descent here, right? So in case if you initialize somewhere nearby, so it is easy for it to come. So your most optimal values will lie within like in case nearby, in case if you go for Xavier activation, something like that, so it will have better convergence maybe. So some cases what will happen is your convergence, it will go like this, like this, like this, so maybe it won't converge faster. So you may have some kind of something like this. Okay, so here it is not converging faster, but where you have a case where it is nearby and it is converging faster, so this may also happen. So the it actually initialization, the initial value actually have some importance here, right? So usually you go for a Xavier initialization. Okay, so there is a slight modification which has been done to this. Okay, like they call it ReLU aware scaled initialization. So what they do is like actually it is similar to like what you say, like this is similar to Xavier, but instead your variance will be only 2 by F in. Okay, so variance is less. Okay, so this is like, but other things are similar. This also proved better actually, like in most of the cases. So talk about like some other initialization. So instead, in case if you have some network, okay, and if you want to build a large network, in case if you want to have a custom network, then it's all your choice, like what initialization you want to go for. But apart from that, in case you can reuse already existing networks. So in our previous session we have discussed various modules, right? So we have, in case if you go further recall them, like we have discussed about so many networks, right? So many different architectures, and these the models are already available for this architecture. Okay, so in case if you want to use a similar architecture or reuse that architecture, so then what you can do is, instead of going for this custom initialization where you for a custom layers, instead of going for a custom layers, what is also better is like go for a pre-trained model. So let me call that concept as transfer learning. So what this transfer learning is, so instead of you customly initialize a network, so what you can do is, in case if your network also is similar to what you have, or instead you don't want to start from scratch. Okay, so let's say, let's take one example, small example over here. So okay, so anything which we know the data set, maybe it will be good for us to give an example. So if you remember, okay, let me take AlexNet. Okay, we usually will use like much latest version. So, but here let's take an example of AlexNet. Okay, so AlexNet, is it it's trained for like 1,000. What are the outputs? Like let me. It's a 1,000 class one, right? So your input is 24 by 24. 224 into 224 into 3. So LXNet, let's see, talk about, take an example of LXNet where it takes input and LXNet, which will have output. Okay. So output is like 1,000 size, and input is 224 into 224 into 3. So input is okay. Like, and here output has been trained for, so output actually has been, so if you take this AlexNet, okay, so it has been trained for 1,000 classes. So, and this 1,000, and it is trained on ImageNet database. Okay, there is a data set called ImageNet, so which contains those 1,000 classes. So your output will be like somewhere like this, right? So let me 0, 1, 2, so on 1,000, and these 1,000 will be like something like dog, cat, ship, airplane, something like this. I'm randomly writing few, but it will also contain those anyway. So this is a kind of a net you have, and for this, okay, so this is there, but actually your problem is like, actually now you have to solve some ML problem which is related to a kind of a object classification, like which was like this, but like these are not the classes which you want. Okay, like you want to solve some other various cars, right? So maybe what can I say, like something new, it can be anything, like it doesn't matter. So maybe a sedan car versus a hatchback car versus a SVU, so that maybe let's take that way. So you want to classify within car, maybe it need not be anything, it can be anything. I just took an example where you want to classify between these three. So maybe a vehicle, pedestrian, and traffic light. Okay, let us take this small example. So where you want this way, like finally a model where you pass an image and it should be predicting, like if it is a vehicle, if it is a pedestrian, if it is a traffic light. But what you have is like you have some other network, like these are not trained to predict these things. Okay, let's assume that way. So what you can do is, in case if you have to, if you want to train a model, like what one basic means like approach by a novice person is, so he can again like construct a network, like use a bunch of convolution layers, and then like few max pooling, and then train a model. But for that actually you need a very large data set, right? So in case if you can see, also see, if it is an LXNet, we have 60 million or 62 million parameters, right? So those many parameters, like it will take huge time to train. So actually LXNet has been trained for more than few weeks. You can take like and also given the computational capability in our local systems, or in case we don't have a cloud, it will take like months together. Okay, and in case if you find a small problem in that, again you have to restart and then maybe train again if you want to tune the hyperparameters. That is a kind of a big headache, right? So like that is not the approach what you should be following. So what you can do is, like already like they have released, like there are like few pre-trained models available, so which are trained on a huge database. Okay, so this ImageNet actually is a very huge database which contains lakhs of images, and for each class, and it has been trained like so much, right? So we can actually, we should be actually utilizing something of this sort. So what we can do is, let's say this is a kind of a network, like I'm just actually simplifying for a representation purpose. Let's take, you have some layers here, and finally it can be convolution layers as well, right? Even though I am writing only fully converted and these layers. So let's say, and finally you have this 1,000 layers. Okay, so this is what LXNet, let's assume that this is LXNet, and from here it's the input, and here you have output of this 1,000. So what you can do is, instead of but because you can't use this last layer, right? So because the outputs what are here are different from outputs what you have. So what you can do is, you just remove the last layer. What you can do is, like, just like remove this last layer and take only this part. Okay, so this we can take and reuse it for our network. So what you can do is, take the same to this model. Okay, like what I draw in red, right? So assume that this is this box. Okay, have the same weights in it, like what is been already trained, right? So have the same thing. Okay, so and here you add one more layer. So with three classes, like what you want is the vehicle, for pedestrian, for traffic light. So okay, and like you have a connection this way. So till here anyway all these are connected. So you remove the last layer and take a layers like till before. Okay, we call it like a till penultimate layer. Like you can take it and then create your own last layer, and to it we can now this is what we have, and till here it has been already trained, right? So these are already trained, and to this, like, these will have some values, and to but here we are initializing, right? So we are doing a random initialization of weights, and here we take weights from pre-trained LXNet. Okay, so only except the last layer. Last layer we remove it, last layer till one layer before we take this, and then the last layer you randomly initialize according to your output. Okay, so because like we need three outputs, and what these 1,000 are irrelevant to your outputs. Okay, so if that is the case, you can do this way and train the model. Now you can train the model. So while training, it is advised to freeze these weights. Okay, freeze the weights for training. So it means like you don't change these weights at all, and you only change the weights of the last layer, only trainable layer. Okay, so this is one way which you can do, but what actually does it make any sense? Like, why is it done this way is, so if you have something like this, so let me write a stack of few layers, and finally a output layer. Okay, so this is output layer, this is input layer. So it may be anything, it may be convolution layers like dense layer or so many hidden feature. What will happen is, so all these will learn how to extract features from your like inputs. Okay, so it can be image, it can be anything, but what it learns is these layers will learn how to extract features, and finally your last layers will do a kind of a classification for your inputs. Okay, kind of like think that like all this is feature engineering, and the last step is where you are passing it to a model to classify between like different outputs. Okay, so treat it that way. So these are features. So usually from higher level features to a lower level features, it will extract, and finally using this you do a classification at the last layer. So this is what usually happens within a network, right? So what we are doing is, instead of taking last layer is anyway not useful for us. So what we do is we take a layer till before, because like till that point it is like feature extraction. It will do something like, it will see like if your image has a curve or not, is it like round or not, something like that. So such kind of features will be extracted. So maybe is it in a corner, is it in the center, something like that. It can be anything. Okay, it is not known to us, but network will automatically learn from the kind of training what you give, and it will extract these features. Okay, so and what we are doing is, like, you take this one, utilize the features extracted, like what it has learned how to extract features, right? So you take those and output, you add a new output layer, okay? Depending on how your classes is, you add this new output, and to it, like you pass input again. So all these weights, like it will know how to extract the features already, right? Because it is already trained on a different kind of a database, but still it will be able to extract the features. So it has looked at so many of the data, right? So it is already very good feature extractor. So to this, what we are doing is we are adding this new layer, okay? And to this new layer, we are adding this output, and we are getting it. So, and what we also do is, so for if you want to retrain it again, okay? So if you want to retrain, these are already trained for so many epochs, right? So these are already trained to very optimal level. If you take LXNet or maybe ResNet or anything, it is already trained with so many epochs. So what we do is, instead of disturbing that, we freeze the weights. So you don't, it means like those won't get changed at all. And only while training, only this will get changed. So what you have is your number of trainable parameters are very low. Sir, very low in number. So maybe 10, 20, 50, 100, maybe thousands. Okay, you can take like 1,000 weights. So because like you have the connection from each to each, right? So only those are the weights, like finally what you have, right? So actually what you are doing is, from this big network, if you take, it may have like 60 million parameters. And but you are only training here some 1,000 parameters, right? So 1,000 or maybe 2,000, let us say. So only these you are training, right? So this is very easy, right? Comparatively to train like 60 million parameters, it is very easy to train like 2,000 parameters, right? So what you have is your training time. Here, actually, it would have taken, like if you want to train the whole network from scratch, it would have taken like few weeks. Here, it would take few minutes, right? So that is a major difference between using a transfer learning, okay? So here, what you are doing is something, a kind of a brain, okay? Your brain, which has already learned, you are transferring to some new person, or maybe for an, it's like kind of a new task, okay? So if you, let's say you are already, let's think of a human, okay? Let's treat this model as a human. So you are trained to classify between like different cars, okay? Let's take that small example. You are like trained like in your maybe kind of a few days session or something, and to differentiate between what is a sedan, what is a hatchback, what is a SUV, what is something like this, what is a this one, something like that, okay? Now you are asked to like train like differentiate between something different task. What you say, let's say you want to differentiate between different bikes, okay? Is it a passenger vehicle, is it like sports bike, is it something like that? It is completely different, right? But what you have is, like maybe for initial training, for a person who is new to, like he has not seen a car at all in his life, so for him it would have taken some time, at least like maybe 2 days, okay? Let's say, like just an rough figure, okay? It would have taken like 2 days or something. But once he is trained, okay, now I took him, now I asked him to like different, like train him, like I for training him on classifying bikes. If it is a new person, directly if you want him to show him, like who has never seen a bike or car at all, and asking him to train, you would have taken like more time to do this task. But when you take the person who has already trained on cars, right, so it will be easy for him to grasp fastly, because he would have known how to classify between different cars. So similar kind of knowledge he could have applied here for bikes as well. Maybe though it is a completely different task, he could use this to and apply that knowledge. So such kind of it's like a kind of you are applying a knowledge what you have learned at some other task, and into one other task, right? So like actually that is something like you are transferring your knowledge to a different task, right? So that is what we are doing here. Till here, it has learned how to classify, like actually LXNet has learned how to classify between these 1,000 images. So what we are doing is you are using the same weights, like same part of its knowledge. So knowledge is nothing but weights here, right? So that knowledge to and asking it to train for differentiating between some other task. And so what we are doing is, so it is able to, it will take very less time. Like here, it has to learn like these many parameters, but here it can learn only like need like these many parameters, right? So what will have is like earlier it would have taken like few weeks to do, but now it took only few minutes to do it. So that is one bigger advantage for of transfer learning. So this has made so many things possible. Okay, so like actually this is a kind of a big breakthrough, what you can say, because like it has allowed us to use like one the kind of a model which is used for train for one kind of task to another. So maybe you are into complete, so in case you have trained it and you did not get like better result, okay, maybe because the task is completely different or kind of images or something is completely different. What you can do is then you can start tuning these weights. Okay, let's say if the performance is not satisfied, start unfreezing the last layers. Okay, so what you do is like previously we are like this. So we okay, I'm representing here 4, and finally we have this new output, right? So new output we are training. Okay, output layer we are training, and we are freezing these 4 weights earlier. Previously freezing these 4 weights and training only this. Okay, now what you do is if performance is not good, then what you do is only freeze 3 layers and train this layer and this layer, these two trainable. Then see the performance, is it acceptable, then okay. If not, again you can do this way. You can freeze only 2 layers and means like this layer and maybe train these layers. So you can start increasing like one layer by layer and start experimenting on that, and so that you'll get mostly this would work in most of the cases. Mostly like you can like wow. So this will surely work in like most of the cases. You don't have to go for like 1 above 3 4 5 above. So mostly like this or this will work. So if not, anyway, in case if it is like completely a different task or like it is difficult for it to do, then you go for like one more above and one more above. So okay, this is how like you should proceed. And like compared to this, like this have more parameters to train, right? So this comparatively here it would have taken few minutes, here it would have taken like few tens of minutes. So here it would take like few hours. So because like here we have like more trainable parameters, right? So this is how like it will be done. Okay, but still like these are not initialized again randomly, but take the same weights what are there earlier, on top of it you train it. Look, even if you don't freeze it, like but still you are initializing with pre-trained weights. Okay, so this is the concept of transfer learning. So you can use it for like various tasks. Like okay, every task like there are like few models which were trained on some similar kind of task, right? So you can take that and then reuse it, or maybe you can reuse your own model for another model. So it need not be something like LXNet or like ResNet or like what is given, right? So you can so for one particular task you have trained your own model, maybe used a reused like model what through transfer learning, or maybe you made a custom model. Okay, so you save that model somewhere, and then for a new task again take that model, maybe accept the last layer and then reuse for a new task. You can do that. Okay, and this is the one, right? So, and you keep the new inputs and reuse it. So it need not be just that you have to use something which has which were published, right? So it can be your own layer model as well. So okay, so this is about transfer learning.